Hello and welcome to a setup guide for the tool Everything. In this guide, I will be going through the initial setup and configuration. To get started, we will want to navigate to the website of the developer. For that, we type in www.voidtools.com and then press enter. In the download section, we are greeted with a total of 6 different versions that we can choose from. The left side is usable for 32-bit and 64-bit versions of Windows, while the right one is only usable for 64-bit versions. I recommend going with one of the 64-bit options if you have a compatible PC for better performance. Most modern systems, including all with Windows 11, are 64-bit. Within the 64-bit options, we have the full installer with all features. We have the portable version that does not need to be installed and can be directly launched without needing administrative privileges, and we have the light version. For most users, I recommend the full installer. If you are curious what the differences between the full version and the light version are, the developer has stated this on his forum. If you do not want to use any of these features, you can choose to go with the light version. For this guide, I will be downloading the full installer. After I've opened the installer, I can choose the language of the program. After hitting OK, I then have to agree to the license agreement. Next, we can select the install location. Now, the more interesting options appear. At the top, we can choose the settings and data location. If you choose App Data, all settings you make will be specific to your logged on user. If you choose Installation Folder, the settings you make will affect all users on your PC. At the bottom, we can choose how the indexing should work. I recommend installing everything as a service. This will make sure that everything is always available in the background and can monitor for changes and keep the index up to date for the moment you need it. The second option would be to run it as an administrator, which works almost as well, but can lead to the annoying pop-ups like this every time you start the tool. The third option would be to not index at all, which I can't recommend. On the next page, we have more options to choose. Most options should be fairly self-explanatory. Of interest are the Install Folder context menus, which will add the Search Everything option to the right-click menu on folders, and the ES-URL protocol setting, which will set everything to open when using ES:links. For example, I can create a shortcut and put in the link ES:universe that when clicked opens everything to search for universe. All the settings shown here can also be changed in the program settings later on. After hitting install and accepting the pop-up, we will be able to press finish and open up everything. In here, we can head over to tools and then options. The general settings are the same ones we went through during the installer. In the UI tab, we can set everything to run in the background. I recommend keeping this on so that keyboard shortcuts that we can set later still work even when you close everything. The second option lets you choose if you want the tray icon down in the bottom right. Single-click tray means that you can open up everything by clicking once on the tray icon instead of twice. Create a new window from the system tray means it will open a new window when you click the tray icon, even if everything is already open. This option does the same when you just open everything from a shortcut or the .exe. Search as you type gives you the instantaneous search on each letter without having to press enter. This is how it looks when it's turned on, and this is how it looks when it's turned off. Select Search on mouse click selects the whole search text when you click it once. Focus Search on Activate means it selects the whole search term when the window is activated. This enables instantaneous searching right after opening everything up without having to click into the search bar, which is why I will activate this setting. Full Row Select will select the whole row of the results instead of just the name. The two options single-click open and underline icon titles lets you choose the behavior when clicking the search results. I would recommend leaving these to system settings so they behave like any other folder on your PC. In the Home settings, you can set how the program should act when you open a new search window. I would mostly recommend leaving it as Use Last Value, so it behaves just like the last opened window. If you prefer to have default settings that might differ from what you set last time, you can set them here. One setting you might want to change is Filter. If you often use filters, you might want to set this to Everything, so you don't accidentally hide search results because you still have an active filter. The search settings start with Fast ASCII search. If enabled, it speeds up the searching, but can sometimes result in small inconsistencies, like not differentiating between a lowercase I and a uppercase I. Match path when a search term contains a path separator will use path matching in your search term if it contains a backslash. Match whole file name when using wildcards will only match the whole file name once a wildcard is used. For example, if we have this activated, *universe only gives us results that end in universe. If we disable this, it gives us results where something can be before universe, while not minding if anything appears after. Activating allow literal operators allows you to use words like and, or in your search terms. I find this very helpful, so I will activate it. Allow round bracket grouping enables the use of brackets in your search term to override the operator precedence. Right now, the operator precedence is set to or bigger than and. This means if we type earth and fire or universe, it will first check if a file has universe or fire in it, and then check if it also has earth in it. If we use brackets and type bracket open earth and fire, closing bracket, or universe, it will first check if a file has earth and fire in it, and if not, check if it has universe. Again, I find this a very useful feature and will activate it. Expand environment variables will make you able to reference the values stored within them. For example, the Windows variable %user% will reference your current user's username. This feature is also helpful for me, so I will activate it. Last is replace forward slashes with backslashes. This will do exactly what it says. I personally do not need this setting, and as such will not activate it. The results page first offers the option to hide results when the search is empty. This is an option I really love and immediately activate. As you can see, it removes all files and folders on my empty search page in the background. Clear selection on search just removes any selection I might have made in the last search once I make a new one. Close window on execute closes the window once I launch something out of the results. Open path with double click in path column just means I can open the path of a search result by double clicking on its path. This is the option I always choose. Automatically scroll view scrolls the view when the mouse is dragged outside the visible area. Double quote copy as path means that if you right click on a result and copy its path, it will copy it with a quotation mark at both ends. Do not select extension when renaming just means it only selects the name of the file, not the extension, to help prevent you overwriting the file type. These two allow you to select how results are sorted. Result list focus is a bit more complicated to explain. It has the options clamp, repeat, and repeat with search. If clamp is activated and you select a file and then press Shift and arrow key up, you can only go to the top or bottom of the search results. If you select repeat, you are able to move past the top or bottom of the results and roll over. I am sadly not able to tell you the difference between repeat and repeat with search. For the last three options, you can give priorities to the loading of icons, thumbnails, or extended information. The view setting starts with a double buffer. This buffers the results in an invisible frame for displaying them to avoid flickering. Alternate row color makes every second row a slightly different color to make navigating it easier. This is an option I always like to activate. Show row mouse over highlights a row when hovering over it. Show highlighted search terms turns the text black that matches your search term. This helps you identify why this file was found with the term you searched. Show the selected item in status bar shows some information about the file at the bottom left when selected. This just does exactly what it says, showing the amount of files selected versus total amount of files found. Show size in status bar shows the total file size of the results at the bottom right. If you want to enable this, you have to enable file size indexing in the indexing options. Show tooltips shows these small pop-up windows. Update display immediately after scrolling does exactly what it says. This might decrease performance. In size format, you can select the size format everything should use. And selection rectangle is just the way the selection rectangle works. I recommend keeping it as system default so that it works like the selection tool of any other folder in Windows. The context menu lets you choose what option you have when right-clicking on a result. You can have it show, you can have it only show when you press the Shift key, or you can remove it from the context menu. In the Fonts and Colors menu, you can just go wild. You can set the font, the size, and colors. So, if you want to have such a lovely setup like mine with Comic Sans 16 with red letters and a yellow background, feel free to copy this. The keyboard settings are, in my opinion, one of the more important settings. Here you can set keyboard shortcuts to use with everything. You can set keyboard shortcuts for opening a new window, for showing the window, for toggling the window. The toggle shortcut is my go-to way to open everything when I want to search something. Toggling means that it shows the window if it's currently not open and closes it if it's currently open. I highly recommend setting some sort of shortcut to easily access the tool. Everything also offers shortcuts for all kinds of specific actions via this list. The History tab offers you to activate a search history. Once activated, you can also say how long the search history should be remembered and if it should always show search suggestions. Run history shows how many times you used a specific search term, and the run history sets the time this number should be remembered. The Indexes tab lets us tell everything how and what it should index. The default database location is in the app data folder of the user. While everything is running, this database is kept in memory for quick access. As long as you have enough memory, I would recommend you to activate all the indexing options that you think you might search for in the future. The fast attributes on the right use up more space per file, but result in a quicker sorting of the found files. With all options activated, my main PC with more than 4.8 million files has a database of 360 megabytes. With the default indexing options, I have around 170 megabytes. This fairly clean Windows VM with all options turned on has a 15 megabytes database. The option for multi-user database file name renames your database to include your computer name and username. This is helpful if you are storing the database of multiple users in one location. Compressing the database saves a bit on disk size, but in my opinion, with modern SSDs, it should not be needed. In the NTFS tab, we can set if we want to include new internal drives automatically. The same can be set for removable drives like USB sticks, which I like to enable. We can select if the database should automatically be purged of entries from offline volumes. For each NTFS volume added, we can choose if we want to include it in the database. In the Include Only part, we could enter a list of folders separated by semicolons to indicate only the folders we want to index. Enable USN Journal activates a system journal of the recent changes on the drive. Maximum size sets the maximum size of this journal. The allocation delta sets the amount of data at the beginning of the list that gets deleted when the maximum size is reached. Load recent changes from the USN journal enables a quicker sorting by recent changes while slightly decreasing startup performance. I personally like to activate this feature. Monitor changes has everything monitoring for any change while it's running to immediately add to the database. The ReFS tab is the same as the NTFS tab, just for ReFS formatted volumes. The Folders tab enables you to add any folder to the index. This is especially helpful for adding network drives. As such, I'm going to add my network drive M that is running on my Unraid server. We can now also set some settings for this folder. Attempt to monitor changes does exactly what it says, and the buffer size below is the maximum size of change entries. The maximum buffer size for network drives is 64 kilobytes. I advise to activate the below setting to rescan on full buffer to prevent missing changes. I personally have my rescan settings on once a day. If you have lots of external devices that make changes on the network drive, it might be helpful to update the buffer more often. File lists are a great way of handling files that are not always accessible. For example, we can pretend my M drive is only a temporary cold storage drive that I will be putting in my closet once I'm done. I can search for all files on the M drive by searching for m:\\. Now I can go to File and Export and save the results as a file list. If I go ahead and disconnect my M drive, and then try to find some files on it, I won't get any results. But if I add the file list to my index, now I'm able to find the files on the M drive, even though they are not connected to the PC. With the setting Monitor Changes, everything will check the location of the file list and reload it if it changes. You can combine this nicely with an automated script that recreates the file list every time the drive is connected. That way, you always have an up-to-date list of files without having to have the files actually connected to your PC or network. The Exclude tab provides you the ability to define files and folders that you do not want to include in your database. The tabs ETP, FTP server, and HTTP server will not be covered in this video. Overall, I hope you found this guide helpful. If you did, please do leave a like, as this was a lot more effort to make than I had initially thought when I set out to do this. Also, let me know if you want a guide on the ETP, FTP, HTTP server setup. Anyways, have a good day and lots of fun with everything.